You know how much energy it takes? Your whole body is involved in not saying something that you want to say.
I don't want them to think I'm whatever. When in reality, we all have bad days. Who's going to judge that? And if they do, F them.
F them for sure.
Welcome back to Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. I'm DocShellie.
And I'm Carla Lewis. We're going to keep it going. When we left the last one, we were taking that bike out and we were going to give it a ride. If you can't pick up what I'm laying down right there, you need to listen to the last episode. We're going to carry on, though. And in this one, we're going to be talking about, along this truth-telling and untaming arc that we're following, this one is going to be taking a look at the things we do not say out loud and what happens when we don't. What's really going on?
Yeah.
So let's talk about
what's really going on.
What is going on?
It's funny when you were doing that intro, I was like, these are the quiet truths that we swallow.
Oh my. And the sometimes not so quiet truths, the ones that we actually can gag on. It's like, oh my God. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the quiet truths. You've so gently named them.
I think sometimes we just, I don't know, we stay quiet because we're tired. For me, like the quiet truth might be that person that's always the strong one or the funny one or the happy one. They avoid saying things because if I'm always the happy one, I can't bring up what's really going on. If I'm always the strong one, I can't ask for help. If I like to just be in the background, I can't do anything that's going to put me in the foreground. Those are kinds of the things that that go through my head when I think about the silent things.
You just triggered a recent memory. I was facilitating a leadership session and the question came up. I asked the question, said, how many of you have observed a leader asking for help? Leader just saying, maybe I don't know how to do this, or I need some assistance in being able to make this done. Not those, hey, it's 5 minutes to 5 on a Friday. Can you get that report to me before the weekend so that I can look at it over the weekend? That kind of crap. But a leader legitimately saying, I need some assistance here. I just don't have it to be able to do this. I don't know, whatever might be the reason. And so all of the leaders in this session had experienced that. And I said, help me understand how many of you thought poorly of that leader for acknowledging that they didn't have in that moment or in their life, whatever, they didn't have what it would take, and they were asking for help. How many of you had a poor judgment, a poor reflection on that leader? And not a one.
Right.
And I added one more question, which was, and how many of you have held back asking for help as leaders because of what you feared might be going on from a judgment point of view?
Let me guess. All of them raised their hand.
Let's say they acknowledged that they had done it. And the answer, yes, yeah, indeed. And so when you think about the things that we don't say out loud, I think there are things that we assume will get said or thought if we say something that we have to say out loud. And that's one of the reasons that we don't. Because we've gotten into this swirl about where it's going to take everybody and how they're going to think of me and the judgment and blah, blah, blah. So, yes.
I literally just watched an Instagram snippet of a gentleman who had pulled a woman up in front of this group of people, and she looked very uncomfortable. And he said, "What do you?" And he pointed out people in the audience. He was like, "What do you think that person's thinking about you?" And she says, "That person thinks I'm ugly." And so he points to the person and he says, "What are you thinking about her?" And she goes, "I really liked your earrings." And then he points to a man and he says, "What do you think about, what are you thinking of? What do you think he thinks about you?" And she says, "Oh, he's judging me." And this goes on a few
Yeah.
iterations, but the guy that she thought was judging him, he goes, "What are you actually thinking about?" And he goes, "Something happened a half an hour ago that I'm still thinking about. I'm not even here thinking about you at all." And but the whole thing was all the stories that we make up about what other people are going to say, what they might say, what they are saying, what they are thinking. We do not have a mother freaking clue what other people are thinking unless we ask them, unless we have a conversation with them. But it is amazing how quickly we can craft a story. Oh, if I say this, they're going to do blah, blah, blah. And we can come up with
Hmm.
825 things that they may or may not ever do. They may or may not ever think. But we're going to let that silence ourselves
Oh my gosh.
because, ooh,
Oh yeah,
that
because
just feels dangerous.
it's awful. And back to our previous conversation about there's conditioning and then there's this whole primal, you can't help it. Your body, your brain, your chemicals all work together to keep you safe. And so there's these reactions that we have in the same setting. I was working one on one with one of the leaders, and this woman was having, she would have near panic attacks when it was time for her to stand up in front of people to speak about something that she knows very, very well. And she said, if I'm one on one, I am good. I know my stuff. I get up in front of people and it's like my brain turns to mush. I said, what's going on for you in those moments? What are your thoughts? Does it have anything to do with about your inability that you don't have your stuff, you don't know what it is you're going to be talking about? She said, no, it's not that at all. It's what they're going to be thinking. I said, how do you know what they're going to be thinking? You have no idea what they're going to be thinking. You probably think they're thinking a whole lot more about stuff than they would even think they would think about. The problem is that you're making assumptions about what's going on and what's important to them, and that they're going to judge you in the same critical way that you're judging yourself. And people don't care that much. They want to hear what you have to say, and that's it. And even if there was something going on, that's actually none of your business. You can't control it, and you don't need to worry about it.
Hmm. Yeah. It is not worth the time and energy to even think about what other people are. People are going to talk about you no matter what.
Yeah,
If you say something, if you don't say something, it doesn't matter.
that's right.
But when we think about ourselves and what we can control, there's this great book called The Body Keeps Score.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this book. But when I think about keeping silent, when we're just keeping our mouths shut and we are doing it to ourselves, that shows up in so many ways from our body. It
Oh,
might be tension, it might be exhaustion. There's so many ways our body holds on to that stuff. So we just need to stop keeping ourselves silent.
I
Our
would like,
bodies will thank us.
yeah. Our future selves will thank us too.
Yes.
I think about one of the fun things to do if you're in a crowd, say you're in a meeting or you're somewhere where there's a number of people together, and a comment, a statement, a something happens that might be contentious or is reaction worthy.
Hmm.
And just to take a neutral moment and look around and watch how people express their opinion, their agreement or disagreement, their shock, their awe, their delight, whatever it might be, in silence. You know how much energy it takes? your
Hmm.
whole body is involved in not saying something that you want to say.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You think about how much just to show up and be fine.
Mm,
It's very much what you're talking about, right? Oh, I got to get up and go walk down the hallway. I don't want anybody to know I'm ticked off today, so I'm going to put on my happy face. That's exhausting to sit in a meeting and hold your reactions, hold your face, hold your tongue. It's exhausting.
it is. It can I. I'm going to revisit a story we've shared in probably several episodes, but that notion of, for me, so owning this completely, but I'm upbeat, I'm energetic, I care about people, I like a good laugh, I'm focused on my work, all of these things. And you get to be, people expect a certain level of energy and engagement and attentiveness, whatever, from you. And there are days, there might just be moments of a given day where it's not all available. And what you become aware of is how much energy you're putting into pretending you really are how you normally are naturally. But when circumstances are prevailing that get in the way of that, then there's this performance thing. You talk about it, I'm fine, I'm
Mhm.
fine. And I would get pissed when people would say, Carla, you're not yourself. You're not, it's like, okay, I'm having a bad day. I'm having an off day. I'm having an off moment. And there's this resentment that would kick in every once in a while saying, can't I be all piss poor like the rest of you are in attitude and such? It's a little dramatic.
But let me ask you this, though. In those moments, how did you respond? Not what did you think? How
No,
did you respond?
I responded, I would be disappointed. Honestly, my shoulders would just slump it was like I was being called out and that I had not maintained a level of performance and appearance that was evidently the standard. And you don't go in being who you are and thinking, okay, am I at the standard? Have I achieved the standard?
You
But then,
don't?
no, I don't. I
I'm
just go and
kidding.
be me. And I know you're joking because you know me. And I just go be me, just like you go be you.
What I'm trying to get at is in
Yes.
those moments when people said, "Oh, Carla,
Hmm.
you're not your jovial, typical self." Did you say anything or were you silent?
Oh no, I actually,
Your
I
shoulders drooped and
my
you
shoulders
had
would
the
droop and I'd say,
visceral
you're right.
internal reaction.
I am not feeling like I usually do. So that's probably what you're seeing. And I didn't explain it away. I didn't try to excuse it. It is what it is. Gosh, thank you for letting me know that I look like I feel like I do.
Right.
And actually, I think I would try to use humor to deflect it because I wasn't comfortable
Right.
being my own subpar. But I appreciate you had to dig for that point. There's a disquiet.
But you hit on several things there, right? You had
Yeah.
the physical reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Your shoulders drooped. You
Mm-hmm.
had the response of injecting some humor in there because you didn't want to say, "You're right. I'm having a crap day and I feel like shit today."
Mm-hmm.
So there was a little bit of a performance in that,
Yes, very much.
and like that, those kinds of things are exhausting. Whether you respond, you don't respond, you stay silent, you throw in some humor when you really just want to be like, "I'm having a bad day. Leave me alone."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And
You're
so
right.
when we can show up and we have the courage, we have the wherewithal to remember our voice and to speak a truth, it's really powerful. And our bodies thank us for it. We
Yeah.
don't have that, ugh, I got to show up and perform in this moment on the spot right now because I don't want to be weak. I don't want them to think I'm whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, we all have bad days.
We
Who's going
do.
to judge that?
And the
And if
fact,
they do, F them.
F them for sure. So that brings up another point because I learned along the way that I am aware of the fact that I may be lower energy for whatever. There was one particular period where there was just a tremendous amount of stress and sadness from a family point of view. And I knew it was playing with me. And so I was a manager. I had a team of people, and people pick up on that stuff, and that's going to be out there, and if nothing else they're going to be talking about it. It was
Mhm.
like I have to respect the people around me enough to say, I just want you all to understand that I have some stuff going on. I am not going to use it to excuse any delays you might experience or whatever. I'm trying to stay on top of my work and all of this stuff, but I want to acknowledge it. It's going on, and I will appreciate some grace. And if there's something you need from me and I'm not picking up on it, please just go ahead and be very clear with me about what it is you need that I may have missed, because it's unintentional that I may be oblivious to this shit. So you have to respect yourself enough to let it be okay. Be authentic, show up as you are, and don't ask others to excuse anything, but help them be aware so that they don't have to be sitting there now thinking, okay, is it us? Is it her? What's going on? There's some mutual respect that plays into all of this as well, for self and for those around you. And especially in the situation we're talking about where you may be a few bubbles off center and
You
you,
bubbles off center. Hell.
so, I'm sorry, engineers, you know what I mean. So,
You're funny.
okay. So, yeah, a lot of energy goes into it and it can be exhausting.
Yeah, the performance is heavy. I can't tell you how many times because I've facilitated so many classes,
Mm-hmm,
right? I'm like, I can't show up to a class and be having a bad day. So I got to manufacture energy.
mm-hmm,
Those are the days where I'm exhausted after I teach. Normally, I'm very energized after I teach. But when I'm manufacturing my energy
mm-hmm.
because I'm tired, I don't feel good, whatever it is, I've got a raging headache or yada, yada, yada. I do have to perform when I'm teaching a class. I have a task to do. I can't show up and be like, y'all, I'm having a bad day, so you're going to have a shitty class. Sorry. That's not gonna fly.
No, you could try that maybe once, right? Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
But it's taxing when you have to perform, and it starts to chip away when you do it on a regular basis for regular conversations where you're
Mm-hmm.
silencing yourself. It probably is starting to chip away at some self-respect too.
Absolutely.
So you really want to think about, where are you intentionally silencing yourself, and just start to figure out what it's costing you. I said that in the last episode. Where is your silence costing you? But really, I think it goes a little bit deeper to, what are the stories that you're telling yourself
Mm-hmm.
about why you're not saying the things you want to say.
Yes. Is it the circumstances? Is it the topic? Is it the people? Is it the location? Are there some triggers that say, ooh, go into shutdown mode? And being able to learn from those things. And first, the first step in any 12-step program is the one of awareness. Become aware of the fact that you are making a choice to shut yourself down, to silence your voice, to keep those things stuck inside. That creates pressure that is going to come out somehow.
Absolutely. And it might come out as a big blow up. It might come out as a heart attack, mental breakdown. Who knows? There's a variety of ways it can come out. You will survive whatever it is you say. So instead of telling yourself, I can't say that, try flipping that script, pivot. I can survive anything. I can survive saying that.
Yeah.
I often tell myself when I have a task I have to do, I'm like, I can do anything for 5 minutes. I really don't want to, but I can. I can survive anything for 5 minutes. kind of use that mentality when you're thinking how much you're silencing yourself, or when you're telling yourself you can't say that. You can say it and you will survive it.
And the fact of taking that step toward honesty with yourself, that really becomes, I don't know, to speak of it in terms of selfishness sounds kind of odd. But if we are silencing ourselves because it's convenient or comfortable, or it's more comfortable to not be uncomfortable. Oh, Carla, that was so really, really like quote worthy. Get me a bumper sticker. But being honest with yourself and those around you serves you. It's not a bad thing to be able to be authentic with what you're thinking and feeling and to be able to share it. You don't have to stuff it.
You don't have to
Don't
stuff it.
stuff it. I'm just full of bumper sticker today. So, Michelle, the kinds of thoughts that would be helpful in a moment where somebody finds themselves thinking, "Oh, I just can't. I just can't." What is it that we can do to work through what we may have learned just as a regular course of habit that, you know what, it's just, I just can't. What is it we can do to unleash the voice that we've been
Unleash the
stifling?
beast.
Unleash the beast.
I think you don't have to be loud. You can still, truth spoken in quiet is still powerful, right? So we don't have to be loud about it. We can speak the truth to ourselves before we start speaking it to other people. Say it out loud to yourself if that helps. Hear it coming out of your own mouth. I can't tell you how many times, because I often speak before I think. Pretty sure you've witnessed that. But I can't tell you how many times I've been in a meeting where I've said something and I think, whoo, that didn't sound quite right. I will usually correct myself. When I know I'm going to be presenting, or there's something that's been on my mind that I want to tell someone or I want to say to somebody, I will say it out loud to myself. Sometimes I will say it into the little voice recording on my phone so that I can hear what it actually sounds like. And sometimes when I listen to it back or I hear it coming out of my mouth, I'm like, no, that is not what I want to say.
We talked quite a bit about that in an episode wherever in the last few months. And it was powerful to think about where you can practice what it is that you think you want to be able to say or be ready to say if a circumstance presents itself.
Yeah. And you can use that same tactic here.
Mm-hmm.
And what we don't say becomes an undertow for our lives. It's stuff that we carry with us. So even if we just say it out loud to ourselves, we can get used to hearing our voice again. And saying things out loud can clear things up. It doesn't necessarily create conflict. I think a lot of times people don't say things because they don't want to create conflict, when in reality, it will clear up what's probably already messy.
Yeah, if you provide words to be able to really cement what it is that's going on versus become a victim of all of the assumptions and presumptions that are going on, the ghosts that are flying around because nobody's calling it out.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, say the things. Stop telling yourself a story about why it should be unsaid, and tell yourself the story about why it should be said.
Thank you. With that, I'm Carla Lewis.
And I am DocShellie. We will see you back here next week for another fabulous episode of Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. If you like what you're hearing, give us a like, give us a review, and of course, share with your friends and family. We'll see you next time. I think a lot of times people don't say things because they don't want to create conflict, when in reality, it will clear up what's probably already messy. So yeah, say the things. Stop telling yourself a story about why it should be unsaid, and tell yourself the story about why it should be said.